Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10 and support the channel at the same time. Hey there, this is Jacques from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to this special edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. It has been 3 weeks, believe it or not, since Iconic Masters has been released. And is it time to buy singles yet? Well, we're going to talk about that. Should we wait a little bit longer? Are they going down? What's happening? We'll get into all those details. Now, also, this is unstable release weekends, and I did want to go over at least some of the cards from the set that are holding a little higher value, because I know a lot of players will be playing in some tournaments this weekend, draft or sealed or what have you at LGSs, and it's important that everyone's on the same page as to current value, especially of new cards. Now, I must warn you, the values for unstable will change drastically over the next few days. They're going to be highly unstable as people are opening packs. See what I did there? Okay, So take them for what they're worth, but I think it is important that everyone's just on that same page, especially through the first weekend, so no one gets pulled into a bad deal. All right, let's get into it. We're going to start off with Iconic Masters and begin with the top 10 Iconic Masters cards that have gained a value this week. And I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler alert, this is kind of scary. These cards are not budging. They are not going up hardly at all. I'm going to go through this list very quickly because quite honestly, these could be almost any cards in the set at this point. You're going to see what I'm talking about in just a second. Number 10, Assault Formation, up a cent to 23 cents. Number 9, Johnny's Pridemate, up a cent to 23 cents. Number 8, Electrolyze, up a cent to 26 cents. Number 7, Wall of Roots, up a cent to 27 cents. Condescend is at number 6, up a cent to 30 cents. Number 5, Swords to Plowshares, up a cent to $1.18. Good card though. Number 4, we got a mythic here. Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker, up a cent to $5.95. Number 3, Bladewing the Risen. There we go, up 2 cents to 29 cents. Now we're moving. Number 2, Windfall, up 2 cents to 41 cents. And finally, the big winner, Monastery Swiftspear, up 4 cents to 89 cents. Now, the main reason I even took the time to show you this was just to give you an idea just how much these cards are not moving in a positive direction. Now, we do have some cards trending down, so let's take a look at those. With the top 10 cards of lost value coming in at number 10, Ancestral Vision, down 69 cents to 17.59. Now, this is down a little bit this week. It does have brand new art by John Avon, although I did like the original art. This is really sweet looking, though. This is a very popular card in Modern, definitely in Control decks, Azorius, Jeskai Control. And most recently, there's been a little bit of excitement around the As Foretold Living End deck, which does run this. So there's a chance that just generally Ancestral Vision may become a little more sought after within the next week or two. But with that being said, the card is still being pushed out there in large quantities as packs get open of this. And there's a lot of people just playing like sealed or draft with this set, and that's why a lot of packs are still being cracked even up until this weekend now. But there's just so many of these cards on the market, especially the rares right now. The demand for some of these cards is pretty high still because some of them are Modern staples, like this one. But even with that high demand, the supply just seems to be outrunning it very quickly. Number 9, Archangel Ozune, down 82 cents to $12. Not even the Commander players can keep these cards afloat. And that's saying something because that is a popular format. So Archangel Ozune down a little more this week. Now this card does see a tad bit of fringe play in Modern. Sometimes it hops on Company as like a one-of. But aside from that, this is just a really big casual card. Great for cubes, great for Commander. Even so, down almost $1. Number 8, Magus of the Moon, down 98 cents to $8.91. Another really fine card in certain decks. I mean, decks that want Blood Moon but also want to put pressure will play this, like Big Red and Legacy, for example. But this is a card that had a high demand, and quantities of the original Future Sight version were getting harder and harder to find, which is why that card was starting to go up in value as quickly as it was over the last 6 months to a year. But with this new version out there, even with the same art and everything, this one's going down pretty quickly as packs get cracked. Number 7, Vorinclex Voice of Hunger, down 98 cents to $11.03. Another great Commander card that is seeing a loss this week. Another one at Mythic, too. Number 6, Thoughtseize, down $1.04 to $14.95. One of the big staples of Magic, period. Fantastic card in Modern, awesome in other formats as well. And it's just shocking almost to see this card drop this significantly this quickly. It just goes to show you that the market is very saturated right now with iconic masters. Now, this original Lorwyn art that they did replicate here is a very popular piece of art too. I mean, that original Lorwyn card, partially due to art and also partially due to scarcity, was up to $50 at one point. Now, once they announced that this card was being reprinted with this art, it did go down. It's down into like the low 30s now, which is a lot more affordable anyway. But aside from that, you can get this version with the same art for less than $15. And I should point out too, because these cards are crashing so quickly, you're going to see a lot of sellers panicking. If you shop around, you're going to find better prices than even we're talking about here today. Just look around. A lot of people are going to be worried about unloading these things. They don't want to get stuck with them. So you will find deals. Number 5, Ether Vial, down $1.29 to $32 at 2 Ether Vial. This was the one rare that was showing some potential over the last few weeks. Now, the main reason for that was it was a key part of the Modern Humans deck, which was very hot over the last month or so. A lot of people trying to assemble that deck. Yes, this card does see play in a number of other great decks too, but it really was the Humans deck that was driving the push for this card, just due to the fact you had new players buying into the card, buying into that deck. So with that being said, here we are in week 3, and this card is losing value like everything else. So finally, the supply has caught up with the demand, and then some. This will continue to drop too. 4, Grove of the Burn Willows, down $1.32 to $13.63. Great legacy, vintage card. You see this in 4-color loam. You see it in lands. This combo is great with Punishing Fire, and still losing a lot of value this week. Number 3, Flusterstorm, down $1.75 to $24.99. I figured this one would be dropping pretty significantly just based off its pre-release price because it is a rare number 1, so there's a lot of copies entering the marketplace, more so than Mythics. But also beyond that, this is a card that really shines in Vintage and Legacy. It does see casual play as well, but those are the formats where you really want a Flusterstorm, and those players probably already have their Flusterstorms, so kind of is what it is with this card. Now, the original version from Commander 2011 at one point was worth $100. It's come down significantly, of course, since this reprint was announced. But again, with all of the supply out there of this card and really the limited demand, this is going to continue to drop. Number 2, Verizon Canopy, down $2.09 to $33.99. This is another card that's in the Humans deck, as well as many, many other decks in various formats. And even though this is another really popular card, really strong card, again, that supply is really getting out there considering this was printed at rare and packs have been cracked quite a bit at this point. There's also a lot of unopened product out there they have to be concerned about. People might be sitting on this product or distributors can't get rid of this product, which means that even though the cards themselves may be out there in a certain quantity right now, it does lead for potentially even more quantity to enter the marketplace in the future. That's going to make people really nervous to pick up some of these cards. I will say, though, Verizon Canopy is a big staple. It's going to always maintain at least some value for sure. And the art on this one I think is really sweet too. Number 1, Mana Drain, down $3.17 this week to $74.99. Okay, this is the crown jewel of the set. All things considered, I mean, it's holding its value relatively well, at least as well as can be expected. So, Mana Drain's still an amazing card. I mean, this is awesome for Commander players to finally get a chance to pick a copy up. They only need 1 copy. I mean, some may want more, but they only need 1 to really play with. So that's going to influence the pricing of this card a little bit. Also, on top of that, you have to think this is an awesome vintage card, but vintage players probably already have their copies. Unless they really like the art and just want to collect this version or something, they don't necessarily need the card. So I do think this drops more, but it is still a very iconic card. And I do think this is one of the cards that will have a floor of, I don't know, depending on how things go and how much of this product actually gets cracked and released. Maybe you can find a copy of this $50, $60 in a few weeks down the road. I do think it will come down more, though, regardless. All right, let's move on to Unstable. We're going to talk about the top 10 highest value cards currently as of the day this set is released. Like I said at the top of the show, these will change dramatically, so do take that into account. So these prices we're looking at today are probably going to be very different by Monday, Tuesday. All right, number 10, Baron von Count, $1.75. So this is one of the mythics that actually feels like it could be a really fun commander. And even though these cards are only legal in Commander through January 15th, there will be some play groups that will allow some play, or at least some limited play, of these silver bordered cards. So there are players that are going to be interested in the ones that make good commanders like this one. Number 9, Phoebe, Head of Sneak. Here's another good example of that at $1.75. Another very interesting potential commander. Number 8, very cryptic command. This is the Wayne England variant at $1.98. Awesome tribute to Wayne England. That's his art on the card, as well as the ability there, draw a card. If that card's art is by Wayne England, you may reveal it and draw another card. Really awesome that they included this. Number 7, here we go. We're getting into the basic lands, and actually the next 5 entries will be the basic lands. So number 7 is Plains at $1.99. Number 6, Mountain at $2.16. Number 5, Forest at $2.25. Number 4, Swamp at $2.99. And you guessed it, number 3 is Island at $3.50. Now the big question is, financially, what's going to happen with these basic lands going forward? Well, first off, they look amazing. This John Avon art with no border is spectacular. As you can imagine, the demand is super high right now for these. Players want multiple copies. They want to put these in a number of different decks, add them to their collection, rightfully so, because they look gorgeous. Now, the good news, on one hand, is supply will also be relatively high, considering you will be able to get one of these in almost every booster pack. That's very good. But you also don't have like fat packs and stuff like that of Unstable out there to kind of toss a bunch of lands into the environment. You're really relying just on packs being open. So I do think over the next few weeks, you will see values go down. They probably will be at their lowest value within a few weeks before they slowly start ticking up over time. Now, what is that bottom out value? I don't know. I feel like the demand is so high that we'd be lucky to get these under $1, quite honestly. Maybe the Plains perhaps will go under $1. I don't know. But I think we'll be lucky if we see any of these under $1. Once they finally hit that rock bottom price, they will tick up. And I don't really see these things getting reprinted in the future. I mean, it could happen, but I think if they do another unset in the future, they'll do different art. They'll try to pick more breathtaking art, I'm sure, because that's kind of one of the hooks to this set. But I don't know if we ever see these again. And that means potentially over time, they could have some real life to them. I mean, look at the Unhinged lands. They're probably your best example. Now, granted, there were probably a lot less of those printed than these will be printed, so keep that in mind. But I wouldn't be surprised to see these go up a few dollars every year, maybe for the next few years. It's very possible as they start to disappear out of the stores and out of the environment, right, out of the market environment. So, yeah, it's something to keep an eye on for sure as we go forward. Try to pick them up if you can this weekend, the next couple weekends, and try to get all the ones you need, because these are going to be great to have, and I don't even want to think about foils. Number 2, Sword of Dungeons & Dragons, $5.99. It's actually pretty significant. I think a lot of it is flavor reasons. I mean, Dungeons & Dragons reference on the card is pretty awesome. Also lets you roll a d20, which could be important with a lot of other cards in the set. So overall, yeah, it's pretty sweet. This is a reprint from one of the Hasbro promo cards, so I'm glad we got it in the set. And number 1, you probably guessed it, it's the Planeswalker. Urza, Academy Headmaster at $8, a really unique Planeswalker. Of course, you have to go to the website to find out what it's going to do for you each time. The website is active. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. But yeah, $8 for Urza. I mean, he'll be coming down as people start opening packs, of course. And when you compare this to, say, a standard set or even a master set or something like that, obviously these prices are a lot lower on release day. But that's because a lot of the cards cannot be played in a lot of places, and that's a big issue, right? Silver border cards always suffer from that. You can't play them in competitive tournament Magic. They're not legal in Standard, Modern, Legacy, Vintage, right? So you either play them in Commander through January 15th, maybe you have a play group that lets you play these beyond that, if you're lucky, I guess. Or you make a cube, or you just play casually. So it does limit the audience a little bit, so the prices are not out of the ordinary. And I'm really looking forward to trying this set out. It does feel like it's going to be a ton of fun for Draft and Sealed, so hopefully I'll get to play pretty soon, probably next weekend. But that's where we are right now for the Market Watch. We're going to be back tomorrow with our regular edition of the Market Watch, where we look at Standard, Modern, Legacy, and other notable cards that are going up and down in value. But until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe. Have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.